Alright, so in this video, we're going to be speaking about the different relationship styles that are available for you to practice to satisfy your romantic and your sexual needs. And as we speak about these relationship styles, it's going to go from monogamous to non-monogamous, right? So we start by saying this. You've been lied to about the possibility of relationships that are available to you. You've been proposed and told that there's only one relationship style that you should practice. And if you don't practice it, you're almost a bad person. You're a immoral person. You are not practicing love in the way that it should be done. And it's crazy because it's so misaligned with nature. It's so misaligned with human nature. And we can see this. Why? Because when you observe people's relationships, they show you that it's not totally as monogamous as you're told. People are told it has to be just one person, and you only look at that person. If you look at anyone else, then you don't love that person. That's obviously a lie, because many relationships don't operate like the ideal. And I believe that understanding this information is going to stop wrong treatment in relationships. What you need to do is you need to understand what relationship style suits your character, your individualism, your personality, your lifestyle, whatever needs that you have. You need to learn how to propose it, and then you need to keep learning about how to engage in it in a healthy, positive way for all people that are involved. So before I get into this, I want you to stop judging. Don't judge. Don't think, oh, my mind is telling me it's supposed to be like this. Your mind was programmed. So you're only thinking what you was really told to think anyway. So just wonder, say, for that person over there, if that makes them happy, then that's actually a good thing, because I would rather that than them being in a relationship where they're being lied to, or even if they're not being lied to, the relationship is unfulfilling for them. So you want to have an open mind and stop judging. So the first one we'll go into is monogamy, right? A monogamous relationship is one in which two people are engaging with no outsiders. It is an exclusive relationship. It is a relationship where those two people are meeting each other's romantic and sexual needs, and that's it. No one else is coming into the relationship. There are different types of monogamy. There is social monogamy, there is sexual monogamy, there's financial monogamy, there's emotional monogamy. And these are different aspects where exclusivity is expected. Now we go to monogamish. It's a term to describe people who are engaging in an emotionally exclusive relationship, but where they are in agreement of engaging in sexual encounters with other people. So this is where the relationship begins to open up, right? People, and as long as it doesn't interrupt the emotional storyline, the emotional commitment that we are engaging in, there's not a problem. So that would describe monogamish. And then we go to another relationship style or practice, which is swinging. And swinging is when two people are, again, in that it's just me and you. However, we're going to engage in sexual encounters with other couples or other people, but we're going to do it as a couple. This enables people to have that feeling of, okay, so we're doing it together. It's not something we're doing behind each other's backs or away from each other. And it's an experience that we're having together. So they engage with other couples. They swap on both sides if that's what's wanted or whatever. And yeah, they do that. So that's, again, an example of they're still together. It's just them in their story, but they're engaging in physical pleasure with other people. Now, it's interesting because I just spoke about open relationships, but poly relationships doesn't necessarily mean that it's open. So we have poly relationships, and specifically, there are different brands of it. We have polyamory. Literally in the word, poly means many, and amory means love. So polyamory means multiple loves. People agree that they're able to engage in emotional connections and romantic connections with other people. That love is free, love is abundant, so love can be experienced with that person, and it's okay. The tenets of polyamory are freedom, abundance of love, openness of emotions, and so on, right? That would be the men, that, both people on both sides engaging in relationships with other people. There's different types of polyamorous relationships. It actually goes quite deep. So we go on to the next brand of poly relationships, and that is polygamy. Basically, polygamy is plural marriage of one gender with multiple partners of the opposite gender. So polygamy could be a man marrying multiple wives, or it can be a woman marrying multiple husbands, right? And in each of those two, they have different names. So polyandry is where the woman marries multiple husbands, and polygyny is where the man marries multiple women. In that sort of relationship, the tenets of that relationship would be nation building, wealth creation, keeping the wealth inside, and all of that stuff, supporting each other. There's still an aspect of freedom, but in these relationships compared to polyamorous relationships, the philosophies aren't based on freedom and openness as much, and actually it could be of a more closed nature than monogamish or open relationships. So there's a term called fidelity. It is a closed type of non-monogamy where all members within the marriage or relationship agree to only having romantic or sexual connections with each other, and it cannot be outside. So you could have a poly relationship, but it's actually closed, and they're engaging in fidelity with each other. There's no outsiders coming into the relationship. So someone described this, I've seen, as monogamy multiplied. So it's kind of like the same thing as monogamy, but you're experiencing that same closeness and exclusivity with the people that are involved. Yeah, so examples of polyfidelity actually and closed poly styles could be a throuple relationship or a triad relationship. So that would be, let's say you have a relationship with one man, two women, but it really could be one woman, two guys also. But in a throuple, a polyamorous throuple, what you could have is it's one relationship altogether. So it's not the man, like in polygamy, which is multiple marriages or plural marriage. You could have a man with the woman and the man with the other woman, but the women are also together too, if they're bisexual, and they're all in one relationship together. So it's like one functioning unit and relationship in itself. That would be an example of a polyamorous throuple. And if they agree to not get with anyone else, then it's a closed relationship. Now, on the polygamous side, you could have, let's say, the man was married to her and he was married to the other woman too. But he says, I'm only marrying you two and I'm not being with anyone else. That would be an example of a polygamous marriage that is closed. So even though what people will do is they'll think of poly and think, oh, it's open, but that's not necessarily the case. It can go even deeper, more specific, but this is the basics. Now, pushing one relationship style means that we are all one type of person, which I think we know is not the case. We are all not the same. So why would we have the same type of relationship? And why would we be pushing one type of relationship and we must stick to it, and everyone else who doesn't is bad, immoral, and their love is invalid? That makes no sense because it presumes that we're all the same. The goal is to figure out which one suits you personally. Don't be bullied from the outside. Don't be bullied from society. Don't be bullied from people who judge it, who are really just indoctrinated. Don't believe it, because for thousands of years, for example, plural marriage has been a thing. For thousands of years. If it's monogamy, then it's fine, but let it be because you chose it, and let it be coming from a healthy place. Don't let it be, oh, well, I think it's supposed to be like this, so I'm going to force it on the other person. Let the other person choose to engage in it with you, because then we cut down the chances of us being deceived and cheated and manipulated.